What's up? You are now listening to Americanized, a storytelling podcast where you'll hear from eclectic first and second generation Americans share their stories and real life experiences as children of immigrants. I did want to talk about, just talking to you now made me think of this huge topic called masking or code switching, and I don't know if I can use them interchangeably. I've been thinking about this myself for a minute. Are you familiar with either terms?
Well, for me, masking, what I think of masking, I think of like having or being neurodivergent and learning how to mask that and like try and act like everyone else. Whereas for me, code switching is more about understanding that you have different kind of relationships with different people, and so you just use language differently depending on the context.
Right. Yeah, I think that's similarly. I've been kind of exploring using the term masking in a way similar to code switching. Like, instead of switching, you are kind of maybe performing or acting a certain way to fit the mold or fit in. Kind of, hiding yourself and like playing a different role, being someone else. Would you say that's how to explain masking, and can you relate that to navigating different environments, people, transitioning between the countries and everything? I don't know, it's kind of a big question. Masking and code switching and the transitions.
Yeah. I totally get what you mean. It makes sense. Yeah, I think like just the way that I use English when I speak to Europeans is very different than the way I use English with Americans. I kind of adjust. I guess I code switch. I don't make as many references or like use slang as much with Europeans, because I guess in some way I just assume that they won't understand or it'll like impede our mutual understanding, whereas that really feels relaxing when I get to do that with someone who speaks fluent English.
Yeah, I'm just curious, what is an example of like references or what slang you would use?
I don't know if I can say anything specific, but over the last year I met a handful of people who were native English speakers living in Europe, and the relationship is just very different. A lot more jokes, a lot more it almost feels like English as a language also comes with a certain sense of humor. I don't know how to explain it exactly, because it just feels like I have an easier time making jokes in English with English speakers, or I can make jokes in Hungarian with Hungarian speakers, and that's also fine. But being in this in-between with Europeans with whom I don't speak the same language, it gets tricky.
You kind of have to be straightforward, straight to the point. English is weird in that way, the way we have idioms and funny. It's kind of funny. Things don't mean what you're saying, and you don't want to be confusing anybody.
Yeah, definitely. In terms of masking, I think there's a weird thing that I've noticed is when I'm in the US, I almost defiantly become more Hungarian. Almost like setting myself apart. And so my Americanness is almost, or maybe it's just that my Americanness is taken for granted. Like that's the part that fits easily. And then the Hungarian side is what becomes more apparent because it comes with different cultural norms and expectations and whatever. And then when I'm in Europe, I feel kind of like more American, you know, it's like suddenly that side of me becomes more apparent. So in some ways, I would say it's the opposite of masking.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's tricky. Never thought about this, to be honest. That's
Oh,
a really good
yeah.
question.
It's an interesting thought. And I do wonder, like, when you say, like, your Hungarian side becomes more apparent in America and the reverse in Hungary, is that, and this might be, like, more rhetorical, or we can think about it, if it's more a self-conscious thing, like, oh, it's, like, no one's telling you this, or no one's showing you that, oh, this guy is definitely Hungarian, or oh, he's definitely an American, or he came from America. I wonder if it's a more subconscious thing that we do to ourselves, or if that has been in your face, like oh, someone has told you, or has expressed or shown that you're showing a more Hungarian side, or you're showing your American side more.
To be honest, I don't think that most people. I've never gotten comments about it, especially not in the US. It's not something that I try to hide consciously or unconsciously because it just comes up. Like one of the first things you ask most people is, where are you from? And that's always a difficult question for me to answer. So there's really no hiding.
Right.
Yeah, it's difficult to say.
Mm-hmm. It's probably partially like in our heads, but also it's probably like shown to us or expressed in some way. That is a big question to reveal a lot. I'm wondering, just me thinking out loud, you also, not 100% looking like American, but like a white American having white skin. Have you thought of like, oh, maybe you can blend in because you may look like most Americans without introducing yourself, speaking, anyone hearing an accent, or seeing your name? Do you feel like you do kind of blend in? Like I was telling you earlier, like being black, I can blend in with other black people or black Americans until I start speaking and someone thinks they hear an accent. I don't know, it's an interesting thing. I don't even know what it is or what my question is, but have you like had those thoughts before?
No, I completely think I understand what you mean. I mean, do, I think I do blend in the US, and obviously like the racial aspect of it brings a whole new layer, of this identity issue. But this specific thing that you mentioned, of you being able to blend in with Black Americans while at the same time not really blending with them because you are literally African American. In this way, I also like, yes, I blend in with white Americans, but I am literally European American or Hungarian American. And it's, I think it's a feeling for me. So like nobody consciously tries to treat me differently. I think I just feel different. And this is true in Europe as well. Like I blend in here very much. And I just feel different all the time because of situations like the one I described with the bicycle, where I'm
Yeah.
like I have some very different expectations of how this situation should go. And yeah, to most people, maybe that just feels, they don't even realize what's behind it.
Yeah, definitely. It's like, there's so much. That's why I love having these conversations and meeting other children of immigrants. Like, we are, I think I've said this before in a different episode, but we are like literally onions. There are just so many layers to us and so many things based on our lived experiences that we are carrying when we walk into a room, but like no one would have any idea because we may blend in or they're projecting a lot of stereotypes on us once they know part of our identity. It's really
Mm-hmm.
fascinating, intriguing. I love it a lot. I think I love it more having more language around it, understanding myself more. Whereas maybe like 20 years ago, I don't know where I would start this conversation. It wouldn't really be a conversation. It would be, I'm stuck feeling these ways, not knowing how to identify, feeling very different even though I look like my peers, but not being able to fit in with them because they speak differently or they're into different things. Yeah, they just have different experiences, and though we look the same, our experiences are different. And yeah, I like to say that we are these living onions.
Yeah, I like being an onion. I've definitely come to like the complexity that I have to deal with, and I think at least I hope I'm better for it. But whether I like it or not, it is what it is. So
yes.
I'm gonna deal with it the best I can.
Exactly, having to embrace it. And I don't know how it is in Europe now, but I feel like nowadays I feel like everybody wants to be different, or especially like people I've talked to, like they like hearing how unique someone is or what makes someone different or how they identify, what their ethnicity is and things like that. So I think for younger generations and younger kids, hopefully there's more comfort in their split identities and not so much shame or loneliness.
Yeah, I've heard also that generally the world is becoming more like there are increasing amounts of mixed race marriages, and people are dating and marrying across cultures. So I think our experience will become more and more the norm rather than the exception. Which
yeah,
I'm interested to see.
me too. I think it's going to be a beautiful thing for sure. To close us out, I usually like to ask, it's a big question for a lot of people usually, but if you could share one message with the listeners, what would your message be?
Yeah, I guess don't be afraid of being different from those around you and of embracing that difference, because I think that is what leads to the kind of connection that everybody hopes for. I think that's pretty cliche, but I don't know if I have anything else to say.
It's cliche for a reason. I've heard that before. It's cliche for a reason. Yeah, that's absolutely right. It's something that we need to keep telling ourselves and that we need to hear. It's a reminder. Because, and with social media too, I feel like everything and everybody is telling us who we need to be rather than being ourselves, and everyone is trying to be like the same type of person. So that's a refreshing cliche message. I really like it. It's never old. Yeah.
I'm glad.
Yeah, no, thank you. It's been a pleasure talking with you, Tamas. Thank you so much for being on the show.
You too. Thank you for having me. It's been really nice.
Thank you so much for being here. I hope to catch you in the next episode. All original music produced by Stubborn Saul. You can find him on all music listening platforms at STBRNSAL. Peace out.